You know, there's no way around the fact that you have to know what to say and it has to sound natural. Does this mean you need to become rote, like automatic, in your responses? Does it mean you need some formulated way to handle a specific objection? Absolutely, you need a formulated way. Do you need to sound rote? No. You need to get so comfortable that it doesn't sound rote. It's natural. See, it's like a recipe, okay? If you're making a meal, right? You're going to open a book. You're going to say, hey, what's in the recipe? Okay, what do I put? What are my ingredients? Combine those together in a certain order. Put them into the oven at a certain temperature for a certain amount of time. Do it exactly as the recipe's laid out, and you get what you anticipated, okay? Change one thing, and the recipe changes. Same thing with closing. The more you practice handling objections, handling people's stalls, handling things that aren't even objections, which are more often just complaints, the more natural you're going to sound. Oh, that's what I said, by the way. Most objections are complaints, not objections. And we'll talk about that in another segment. You know, it's like the grandmother who makes fudge without even looking at the recipe. She's done it so many times over the years, she would never think of looking in the book. But if she was to go make a new recipe, she might want to go refresh herself. See, she knows what to do with the fudge. She knows what to do when it comes out. It's perfect every time because she's done it so many times, it's automatic. Same thing with handling objections. Same thing with closing a deal. Look, there's nothing wrong with you learning what you're going to say. There's no harm in you actually preparing. I don't know what people think when they're like, oh, I don't want to sound like too, yes, you do. You want to know what you're going to say so that you can handle certain situations successfully. If you were going to give a press conference to the world, you'd drill and practice it, right? You'd want to consider how your address, to the world would be perceived by others. You'd want to get it down to where it sounded natural, okay? Hey man, I'm going to do this presentation. What effect is it going to create on other people? You would drill and practice and rehearse it. You'll have to do the same thing to prepare yourself to become a professional hard sell closer. And again, when I say hard sell, I'm not saying the sale was hard. I'm saying hard sell, that you're willing to go to that place where people are a little uncomfortable and you're willing to persist through. To persist through means you need techniques, and they need to be rehearsed, they need to be practiced, they need to be drilled. You need to practice handling objections, stalls, and complaints so that you can persist intelligently through the resistance. See, I practiced this daily for years. In my sales position, before I went to work each day, on my way to work, I listened to material that prepared me for the close. Every morning I'd team up then, after I got to work, I'd team up with another salesperson or a manager, and we'd practice every possible situation that we would possibly encounter that day. This turned me into a lethal individual at closing the deal. And you can do this too. Look, if you can't close, you lose. I've worked in many different industries with salespeople and sales effectiveness, sales training, getting the sales team more productive. And what I found out was that the objections that you're hearing, no matter what your product line is, are very similar. Some are not, but many of them are very similar, and they cross over into all industries. And here's the reality. If you can't persist in the close due to the fact that you ran out of material, you'll never reach the level of hard sell. You know what I'm talking about, hard sell? I'm not talking about the sale was hard. I'm talking about you can stay in there and push through, okay? Look, if you don't learn how to do that, you're not going to become one of the greats. So you got to work this out, okay? I don't want you looking shocked, surprised, or having to run somewhere else to figure out what to do. I want you prepared, know how to do the recipe, know how to deliver it, know how to cook it, and know how to close it. I don't want you going home to think about, man, what could I have done different? How many of us had that experience? God, I know that was a deal. What did I do wrong? You should be looking at that, but we need to repair it. Leave that kind of action now for amateurs. For you to be a professional, for you to get professional results, for you to know what you have to do and say in every situation, you have to prepare yourself. Look, video yourself. Literally, get a video camera. They're nothing today. Get a video camera and video yourself perfecting your techniques. In this book, The Closer Survival Guide, okay, this book has 126 closes. I have another program called 85 Closes. That's 230 closes. I just finished writing another 55 closes, okay, that you need in this marketplace. That came out of recording myself. Then you want to watch your gestures, watch your hand motions, watch your tone level, watch the responses. Throughout the day, write down your objections as we talked about in another segment. And the next day, team up with another associate, practice handling anything you weren't satisfied with the day before. Drill, practice, it builds confidence. Look, drilling and practice builds confidence. You're already doing this now, whether you know it or not. You're just doing it in the game. You're doing it when it costs you money, and you're building bad habits, not good ones. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to set a time for the next 7 days, okay, the next week. Set a time each morning where you're going to practice handling, drilling how to handle objections so that you're prepared in the close.